Oh my goodness, I got that Friday feeling, man.
Yeah.
That is for freaking sure. Super excited to get a little crazy with everybody today
Or
because there's so much happening in Hollywood. I mean, Fran Drescher, is she going to be the continual SAG-AFTRA president? We don't know. Well, we're going to talk about it. Of course,
we
we
are.
do actually know, of course. We're also going to be talking about the box office, some films that have been doing amazing, some films that are going to be doing lukewarm at the box office that we think. But the industry is kind of crazy, and that's why we're here to report on it for you. Isn't that right, Dustin?
Yeah, I would even say the industry's a little freaky. Like a Freaky Friday, maybe we've got, or Freakier. Huh? How's it doing at the box office? That's gonna be part of it. That's gonna be fun. Uh, all kidding aside, you know what time of year it is, guys. It's that time of year where the numbers come out, and the quarterly earnings and reports came out, and some was good, some was not for the big boys, and it played heavily into decisions that were made, that's for sure. I can't wait to dive into that because it does play heavily into us and everybody else in the industry and what's going to happen. So that's going to be a fun one. Yeah, man, I'm excited. This is going to be a deep dive into some really interesting stuff.
Yeah, super freaking pumped, man. But like I said, that's a little bit later on the show. Now, let's get a little crazy. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Did y'all see that? What?
Let's just throw Scream 6 in there for like
It
my
was
favorite
good.
movie. It was really good. The best of the franchise, in my opinion, since the first one.
Yeah. What's up, guys? Oh my goodness, welcome back to ITCAFpodcast for episode 304
Woo!
of Inside the Crazy Ant Farm. You guys know your host with the most, myself, J. Logan Austin, aka J-Lo Fantastic, and then of course Dustin and Bergman, aka The Mouth.
What's up?
Man, oh man, we're super excited to get a little crazy with everybody today. Of
Yes.
course, this is where you find the latest and greatest entertainment news that is happening in Hollywood. If you want to know about something that breaks, be sure to come over here to ITCAF because we have all the latest and greatest crazy news for you, of course. And
Fact.
before going into the show, we got to take care of some business. Please be sure to leave a rating on the podcast, comment below, and tell us what you actually think about the show. Because if you didn't know, doing either one of those things, helping us, sharing the podcast any way you can, it helps us immensely. The word of mouth support is absolutely amazing, especially when it comes to the entertainment industry. So that's why please be sure to do your part and spread this crazy ass podcast to anyone and everyone you can, like herpes. I mean, it's okay. It's fine. It's fine. But yes, we're super excited. Yes, I did just compare to this podcast to an STD, and that's okay. That's fine. Stay protected, guys. Stay weather aware. But anyway, of course, be sure to visit our website. Also, www.crazyantmedia.com, where you can start rocking the latest and greatest Crazy Ant Media gear. We got a little bit of something for a little bit of everyone, and that is for sure. But man, oh man, let's dive into SAG-AFTRA because we have been talking about this back and forth a little bit the last couple days. Of course, we went on Instagram Live and talked about it a little bit too. Man, oh man, breaking news that just dropped right before the start of the show. After 4 years in charge, Fran Drescher, the nanny herself, will not seek another term as president of SAG-AFTRA. Now, Drescher's decision has been known within the union for about some time. But it was made official on Friday, of course, when their union released the list of candidates for the upcoming election. Now, Sean Astin, who has served on negotiating committees and the national and local boards, will run for president against Chuck Slavin, a member of the local board in New England. Another round of negotiations with the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers is set for next year. Now, both campaigns are focusing on issues like health and pension benefits, streaming residuals, and protections against, of course, generative AI. I gotta say, I don't blame Fran. I mean, she just went through a lot. Okay, she became SAG-AFTRA president during the pandemic. She got us out of that. And then, of course, the actor and writer strikes that, of course, she was heavily involved with the actor side of things, not the writers, different union. But yeah, I don't blame her, to be honest. I will say what you want about her. I do like how she took the union more social, more public with social media. She did have a heavy presence on social media that I feel like previous regimes with SAG-AFTRA did not have. And I liked seeing her face a little bit more because, it's all about social community now. So I'm not surprised by this decision, and I'm okay with it at the same time. So
Yeah.
it is what it is. Time for a new chapter at SAG-AFTRA.
Yeah, I mean, it shouldn't come as any surprise. I mean, it was not exactly a smooth term. There was a lot of divisiveness, there's always inside fighting going on at SAG-AFTRA. I mean, there's two factions, always has been. They're always at each other's throats. But this one got really contentious, and I think she really would have been bumped out of there had the strike not happened. I'm just going to say it. I think they were coming after her hard, and they unified basically to get past the issue, and then got it back on track. But yeah, I'm not surprised by this. My money's on Rudy. I think Rudy will win. Never vote against Rudy. He's been hinting for years that he wanted to make a run at the presidency. So yeah, I think this is a no-brainer. I think Rudy's probably got the upper hand, and we'll see. But it is time for a change. I think it's always good, though. Like, in any political organization, and guys, unions are political organizations. Make no mistake about it. It's good for change. You can't keep the same old thing for year after year after year after year after year. I think there should be term limits, in any political organization. Just get in, try to get your job done, meet your agenda, and get out. That's how it should be, so that new, fresh ideas can come in. That's how we keep things moving. All right, let's jump on over. Are you guys ready? Are you for the award season? Well, if you're not, too bad, because it's on us. It's starting, baby. The Oscars have officially set the launch date, and it's right around the corner, next week, in fact, for the wave of digital screeners. Remember, we told you about this a few weeks ago, that this is how they were going to start screening the films that would be for voters to nominate for the categories. They're doing this digital to try to keep it from leaking everywhere. Well, that first wave of digital screeners is going to debut on Friday, August 15th, so a week from today, for its 11,000 plus members to consider for the 98th Academy Awards, which will mark the official start of awards season as studios vie for voters' attention on the members-only streaming platform. Now, the Academy Screening Room will debut its initial slate of films from distributors that met the July 31st submission deadline. New movies will be uploaded, get this, every Friday until the end of the season across all categories, including Best Picture and specialty races such as documentary, animated, international feature, and the shorts. Now, the early digital release on the platform provides crucial exposure for films, notably smaller independent titles that may lack the marketing budgets of the major studios. And you guys know we're going to start seeing them real soon, the push, the ad campaigns for all the nominees. Studios have to pay $20,000 to place films on this platform, as an alternative rate is available for films with budgets of $10 million or less, with guidelines available through the Academy Screening Room application process. Now, distributors can also create exclusive content for the platform through Scene at the Academy. Scene, S-C-E-N-E. The Academy Screening Room is, because you need these to be able to do it, it's available on apparently Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, Roku, Android TV, and more. Not for you. You have to be a member. The Academy member website and the mobile apps will also have this thing, and AirPlay and ChromaCast support for all of them. Now, the nominations voting period will run from Monday, January 12th through Friday, January 16th. Official nominees will then be announced on Thursday, January 22nd. And of course, the 98th Annual Academy Awards will be held in March on the 15th of 2026. So, there we go. There we go. This is new. This is the way it's going right now, man. It's digital. Go to the screening room and see what's in there. Like,
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. And I think next week, our top five, we should go through, see what movies are coming out for the rest of the years. Our top five next week should be top five films that we haven't seen yet that we think are going to be Oscar nominated.
oh,
I
oh,
think that's going to be interesting because we have absolutely no frame of reference. So, I mean, it would be another kind of like, yeah, it'll be fun to see what
Wicked for
happens type
Good.
of thing. Yeah, that one definitely.
For
I could see
sure.
that being nominated for Best Picture for sure. Anyway, yes. Now heading over to the Mouse House, of course, where the Fantastic Four First Steps should have dominated the box office through the dog days of summer. Instead, ticket sales are falling fast and furious, like the superhero adventure will be unseated from the top spot on North American charts by either Disney's comedy sequel Freakier Friday or Zach Krager's unsettling thriller Weapons. Now, Freakier Friday is projected to open to about $27 to $30 million, while Rated R Weapons is targeting a similar start to about $25 to $30 million. Now, it is the third weekend of its release, so Fantastic Four First Steps is aiming for about an $18 to $20 million range. Now, and so far, Fantastic Four First Steps has generated $200 million domestically and $370 million worldwide. It'll soon outpace, of course, Thunderbolts, which earned $382 million globally, and Captain America Brave New World, which earned $415 million globally to become Marvel Studios' biggest 2025 release. But this theatrical result isn't exactly shaping up the way the studio's much needed box office return to glory needed to be. Now, of course, that said, Disney CEO Bob Iger himself doesn't seem too worried, saying, quote, Marvel's Fantastic Four reboot successfully launched this important franchise into Marvel's cinematic universe. And I think that's how everybody's feeling, but kind of like Dustin's clip that we posted on social media and that you said last week, it doesn't make any sense because I mean it's going to finish around what Captain America Brave New World is going to, but that's considered a major failure. So yeah, it's freaking weird, man. Can we just like again can just call a potato a potato? If it's a good film, it's a good film. It's a mediocre film, it's a mediocre film.
Yeah.
That's where we should be at, in my opinion.
I think we're putting too much emphasis on the profit.
Yeah.
This film will end up being profitable, right? I mean, it will minimally, but it will be profitable. And we have to understand we are in the day and age now where superhero films, specifically Marvel films, they turn out in the opening weekend and then fade. That's just the way it is. And to call a film a failure because it massively opens and then fades off is ridiculous. It's a failure if nobody shows up the first weekend. Then it's a failure. But after all these years and 38 films, they're still packing the house on opening weekend and breaking records on opening weekends. So yeah, let up on the failure talk, man. I think in big part, we talked about this a little bit, but I think all that bullshit, social media, Rotten Tomatoes, the press, are playing into it falling off so quickly after the first weekend. They brand it a failure before it even has a chance to be seen. And that is just ridiculous. I'm sorry, but they need to move past that shit. We need to get over that. Just, build people up. Stop tearing down, man. Stop tearing down. This next one is going to be really interesting because this bad boy was supposed to be theatrically released, wasn't, debuted huge on Disney Plus and was part of the launch of Disney Plus. If you remember, it's what kind of drew people to the initial launch of Disney Plus. I'm talking about Lin-Manuel's Hamilton. Well, guess what? It's finally going to get the theatrical release. Yep, Lin-Manuel Miranda revealed this week that the movie version of the Tony Award-winning musical Hamilton will come to theaters on September 5th. That's right around the corner, guys. Hamilton premiered, of course, as I said, on Disney Plus in July of 2020, roughly a year before it was originally scheduled to debut in theaters. The movie did have a date originally of October of 2021 to be released theatrically. The movie version is, of course, a live capture of the production filmed at the Richard Rodgers Theater on Broadway in June of 2016, with most of the hit Broadway musical's original cast. Tickets are now on sale for the film, which will be released in theaters in the US, Canada, and Puerto Rico on September 5th, the UK and Ireland on September 26th, and Down Under in New Zealand and Australia on November 13th. I think there's a resurgence for this thing. Every time they do a little special, so it's the 10-year anniversary or something like that. It's some anniversary for it. It does well every time.
10 years.
Yeah, it does well every time it pops up anywhere. So I think this will do well in the theaters. I think people will turn out to see this thing.
Well, yeah, and I mean, this is a huge opportunity because, like you said, it came out at the height of the pandemic, so everybody saw it on Disney Plus if they didn't see it in person on Broadway. So, yeah, I definitely think there is a lot of money on the table to be made. So this is a great decision. I just saw last night, I was scrolling through my TikTok feed, and Lin-Manuel Miranda has been popping up at performances and giving like stats and thanking the audience for coming, and like he talks about how many wardrobe changes there were, how many people who were that played a certain character. Like he's got all these random facts that I think are absolutely fascinating. So if y'all can find that video, please be sure to watch it. But it makes sense because I feel like Hamilton the musical definitely brought a whole new audience into this genre of theatrical performance and theatrical movies, because honestly, I think it would still be a success, but I don't think without the success of Hamilton that Wicked would be as big as what it is, because I think Hamilton definitely opened up the musical and theatrical performances to a broader scope of audiences that also helped Wicked when it came out in the theaters. That's just my opinion.
You mean theatrical release, like movie theaters?
Correct.
Yeah. Because I was gonna say, like, Wicked was doing well
Wicked's
on Broadway.
older
Yeah,
than
yeah.
Hamilton. Yeah, I know that, but yeah, I'm just talking about.
I would agree with that. I think it was a nice resurgence for musicals. It introduced a new, like what Grease did way back in the day. I feel like you're right. Hamilton kind of did that for a newer generation of, oh, hey, this is hip, this is cool music, this is awesome. And this is going to benefit because it has the original stars in it, Philippa Sue and Lin-Manuel and all, and just like, it's amazing, guys. If you haven't watched it, don't watch it on Disney Plus right now. Wait and go see it in a couple of weeks. It'll be well. I bet I'm going to go, and I'm excited because I bet everybody in the theater is singing every line to every song.
I freaking
I
hope
want to say, I will be. Who's ever sitting next to me, just be warned. I'm going to be singing. I'm going to be belting the shit out because it's a great fucking musical, man. So this is exciting. I'm pumped.
It really is, man. It really is. Well, it's time. It's time to talk about Star Wars.
Yeah.
Grogu is going to read this whole next story.
All right.
So Matt Smith, everybody knows him from The Crown, and of course,
House of the Dragon.
House of the Dragon on HBO Max. He is now headed to a galaxy far, far away. The House of the Dragon star has joined Sean Levy's Star Wars Starfighter film for Lucasfilm, of course. And then sources close to the actor have confirmed this, so it's very freaking exciting. And it looks to be a villainous role, which of course we know he can play very well. And he's going to be opposite previously casted person, Ryan Gosling and Mia Goth, which is very freaking exciting.
It's a cool ass cast.
Like those are going to be some amazing freaking scene partners. This isn't Smith's first brush with the Star Wars franchise, though. The Doctor Who alum was previously cast in The Rise of the Skywalker, but ultimately didn't appear in the film. Now, Star Wars Starfighter shoots this fall and is due in theaters on May 28th of 2027. Very freaking exciting I am. Yes, very exciting.
Yeah, no, that sounds like an amazing cast. And yeah, there's a little knowledge. I didn't know he was cast in Rise of Skywalker.
I didn't know either,
didn't appear. Like, you learn some new stuff every day, right? Speaking of Lucasfilm and the Mouse House, we all remember this lawsuit that would not die. But guess what? Apparently it has died. Lucasfilm and the Walt Disney Company have finally reached a mutual agreement in their legal dispute with Gina Carano following her firing from The Mandalorian. You remember that? Yeah, you do. A Lucasfilm spokesperson said in a statement, the Walt Disney Company and Lucasfilm are pleased to announce that we have reached an agreement with Gina Carano to resolve the issues in her pending lawsuit against our companies. Ms. Carano was always well respected by her directors, co-stars, and staff, and she worked hard to perfect her craft while treating her colleagues with kindness and respect. With this lawsuit concluded, we look forward to identifying opportunities to work together with Ms. Carano in the near future. Really? Carano was fired from The Mandalorian in 2021, if you guys don't remember, after sharing controversial social media posts, including one that compared being a Republican to being Jewish during the Holocaust. She was also dropped as a client by UTA at that time. Carano has not officially responded to the settlement news, but did write on X Thursday morning, and the truth shall set you free. Okay.
I did see, though, she did thank Elon Musk.
Because she paid for her whole lawsuit. Like,
yeah,
what?
Like,
yeah, for anybody who didn't know that.
Because he hates Disney. That's why.
Yeah,
he hates Disney and he hates Bob Iger. Like,
I mean, it's a nice statement to say that they look forward to future opportunities working together. I'm not so sure.
It's a mixed bag of things.
Yeah,
okay?
I don't think Gina's going to say yes, right? Like,
yeah, obviously, we're just people who love the film industry. We don't say things that are always politically correct. Now, don't get me wrong. She's crazy, and she has some wild opinions that she's, it's her right to have. She's allowed to have those opinions. And we'd all know that Disney plays it a little too close to the line when it comes to wokeness, so they try to appease everybody. So it's a little bit of both, but I'm finally glad that this is over so we can move on with our lives, because there's been a few situations like this with Disney that, don't need to happen, in my opinion. So there's that.
Well, I think this probably settled real quick after Snow White. Because Gina could have came out and said, both of them made statements, really controversial statements, going to town on all kinds of political stuff that was real nasty and they shouldn't have said, and they didn't get fired. You just pushed the film out there. That would have been a valid argument in her lawsuit. So I feel like it was probably a smart move. They rehired James Gunn back. She had some meat that she could have come at them with. And I think they were finally just smart enough to go, our bad. And just moved on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but they are like forming a track record for themselves, right? They act really rashly and then they go back on what they do. So, I mean, gotta be careful with that, man. Gotta be careful with that, especially when you're the top dog in the town. It's true. That's for sure. But speaking of the top dog, we all saw this coming for sure. Disney did announce that it will be fully integrating the Hulu service, which it now owns 100% of, into the flagship Disney Plus streamer. Of course, you've already seen the Hulu icon pop up on Disney Plus, and they've been playing around with the beta versions of integrating both of the services, and it seems like it's going pretty well. So everybody's just gonna be like, forget that standalone. Let's all just go to Disney Plus. And it's going to be available in 2026. Now, the company said that CEO Bob Iger and CFO Hugh Johnston said in a prepared complimentary on the media giant's quarterly earnings, this will create an impressive package of entertainment, pairing the highest caliber brands and franchises, great general entertainment, family programming, news, industry-led, live sports, content, into one single app. Now, according to a Disney rep, customers will still be able to buy the standalone Hulu subscription, as well as the standalone Disney Plus plan. The move to fully sew Hulu together with Disney Plus comes after Disney, following 2 years of negotiating, closed its deal with Comcast to buy out NBC Universal's 1/3 stake that has been a part of Hulu. Now, they did buy it out in June of 2025, so just a couple months ago. Now, Disney paid Comcast in total about $9 billion, including $8.61 billion in November of 2023 and $438.7 million last June. Now, Disney Plus added 1.8 million subscribers globally, though U.S. growth stalled, and will stop reporting subscriber numbers next year. I mean, that shouldn't be surprising either, because we've been seeing all of the studios stop reporting subscriber numbers since the streaming wars is over. Like, let's be honest about it. It's
they're all
just about
profitable
making
now.
them profitable and about getting them to a point where they will be winning awards. Of course, like Apple TV Plus has already won Best Picture, and then of course Netflix is still chasing that gold. But the app integration, not surprised. We could have told you that. We probably predicted that when they
We
first
did.
announced
I'm pretty sure
that Hulu was coming on to Disney Plus. So it is what it is, man.
Yeah, because from day one they were including Hulu subscribers in their Disney Plus numbers for their streaming numbers. So you knew it was always going to happen. The thing I'm confused about is according to the Disney rep, you can still buy the standalone subscriptions. What does that mean? If you only want the Hulu subscription, then you will only see Hulu content when you log into Disney Plus, and vice versa. If you only want the Disney Plus, you'll only see Disney Plus content when you log into it, because it's going to be branded Disney Plus no matter what. So I'm confused by, if you only want Hulu, you log into Disney Plus and you only see Hulu shit. That makes no sense to me.
I'm wondering if how they're gonna try to do it is kind of set it up like a Roku home screen, to where like you click on the Disney Plus app
and it has
then
the
pops
homes.
up, then pops up the either Disney Plus or Hulu, and then you go into, all right, now who's watching this? I mean, it is getting to a point where it's like step by step allotness. But
well,
it is what it is.
Plays into what we've been predicting for quite some time now, is the eventual merging of all the streaming services into one place where they split revenue, and you can you're going to pay one price for all the streamers. You just go and they're all there, like you said, with a little, I'm clicking on HBO Max, I'm clicking on Disney Plus. That's going to happen, guys. That is the way they will continue to stay profitable and all share, and everybody, and bring down costs, right? Because it's starting to get pricey. If you want everything now, it's like 8 different streamers, varying from like what, $8 to $30, depending on what tier you get. And the goal was always supposed to be cut the cable cord. It's so much cheaper than cable. Well, it's getting to the point where you might as well have just kept the cable. So I think we are going to see that. One other thing to finish this one up, I did see too where this merger could end, get this, guys, the Academy Awards run on network television. This is the final year of the deal with ABC. And now, they love ABC. The last deal was 2016, so 10 years ago, right? So 25, 26 will be the last year. The Academy said they're looking forward to the opportunity of what they can do with a global audience on a streaming platform like Disney Plus. And Disney is, so this might change the game on how awards ceremonies are done moving forward. Netflix has clearly seen some success with the SAG Awards. So, I mean, could this be it? Could Disney be, hey, you want to watch Golden Globes? You want to watch the Oscars? Streaming's the home. You got to get, I mean, that's going to be interesting. That is going to be interesting. But it's not just all that, guys. They still have shows. Phony, the coming-of-age mystery pilot starring Connie Britton and Sam Nivola, has been picked up to series at Hulu. Now, get this one. This one sounds interesting. The half-hour show follows a teenage boy who wakes up after a car accident only to find that his mom, his only parent and best friend, appears to have been replaced by an imposter. Nivola plays Sonny, the most beloved student at his high school, who is only truly known by his mom, Ellen, a single mom who serves as the principal of her son's school. Now, the series hails from show's runners, writer, director Nick Paley, and is produced by 20th Television. Britton, of course, is the 5-time Emmy nominee, best known for her roles on Friday Night Lights in Nashville and season 1 of The White Lotus. Nivola is a fellow White Lotus alum who broke out this season in the year's Thailand set, season 3 of White Lotus. So there you go. That one sounds interesting. What does he mean she's an imposter? Like, what does that even mean? Okay.
Yeah, right. That sounds, very, very interesting. I mean, hey, trying different things. We love to see that. Go against the mold. We love to freaking see that.
Yes.
Well, I know a lot of people are going to be sad and disappointed, all you warlocks and witches, and they're just crying in your bat caves right now. Well, Goosebumps is not returning for a 3rd season at Disney Plus. Now, the horror anthology based on the R.L. Stine book series originally debuted on Disney Plus in October of 2023, with the second season premiering in January of 2025. Now, season 1 was about 10 episodes and released weekly, while season 2 was 8 episodes and dropped all at once, simultaneously. Now, according to an individual with knowledge close to the situation, series producer Sony Pictures Television plans to shop the show to other outlets and explore different creative directions for the IP. The 2 seasons pulled in about 75 million hours viewed combined in the US and the top of the 43 million hours viewed across 16 international markets. So not horrible, but not great. It's definitely not the audience that they were hoping to get.
Yeah.
But I mean, let's be honest about it. Sony, why aren't you shopping this thing over at Warner Brothers? Like, I definitely feel like they're that Cartoon Network, Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, like the darker tone of this type of thing. When I think Disney, I think of color. And that's kind of what I've seen from Goosebumps, because I watched the first season, like 1 or 2 episodes with Justin Long, I think, was in the first season. And it was okay. It was nothing crazy. But, I mean, I think with that franchise, either you have to go really kidsy or you have to mature it up a little bit. Because if you're trying to meet in the middle with that preteen age, I don't think that's going to work, in my opinion. I don't think the franchise is going to be something that those preteen kids are going to want to watch on a Disney Plus or a Hulu. So they need to figure out either kids it up or adult it. I think that's the way to go.
Agreed. Or maybe even Netflix. I mean, throw it over on Netflix. I mean, who knows,
I mean, you see the success of Wednesday. That's the same thing.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Okay, let's jump over to the bunny. Warner Brothers Discovery for now. I'm just going to refer to it as Warner Brothers because all of this news is going to be Warner Brothers related, not Discovery related.
Exactly.
So, Warner Brothers said it's released its schedule, guys. This is what the plan is now that they're back to a movie studio. Warner Brothers said it's targeting 12 to 14 theatrical releases per year across its 4 key labels: Warner Brothers Pictures, DC Studios, New Line Cinema, and Warner Brothers Animation going forward as the company, get this, takes a victory lap following a super second quarter at the box office. Now, in a letter to shareholders accompanying its latest financial results, the company, led by CEO David Zaslav, said the releases will include 1 to 2 Warner Brothers Pictures tentpoles based on well-known Warner Brothers IP, 1 to 2 DC Studios films, 3 to 4 New Line Cinema releases, including horror and comedy films, and 1 to 2 Warner Brothers Animation titles, and a select number of moderately budgeted original films. Now, films released by Warner Brothers Motion Picture Group, led by Pam Abdi and Michael DeLuca, have generated over $3 billion in the global box office year to date, including over $2 billion from just 4 films out in the second quarter alone: a Minecraft movie, Sinners, Final Destination Bloodlines, and F1, which Warner Brothers distributed but for Apple. Now, as for the company's streamer, because it's going to go with Warner Brothers, not Discovery, HBO Max added 3.4 million global subscribers and remains profitable, even though they've been shifting some stuff around. It was announced, though, that they are planning password crackdowns in September and future price hikes. Everybody's been threatening these password crackdowns, haven't really seen it. But the exact wording was hardcore password crackdowns. That was the word he used. Hardcore password crackdowns. If you're going to bump people off and then raise prices, this is going to be counterproductive. I'm telling you right now, that's going to be a disaster. Don't do it. The goal is because they think by bumping people off of shared passwords that they're going to make those people go and get subscriptions. They're not. Not if you raise the prices, they're not. I think the solution to this, Netflix has kind of already started it, but even Netflix needs to adjust it a little bit. I think the solution to this is to have a pricing tier that includes a family membership, where you can everybody in the family has access to it. Netflix is doing this but they're still locking it down to the same zip code. Families are everywhere. What's the point of a family membership if you have to stay all in the same zip code? That's not going to work. You have to have a family membership that allows family members to be on it with a shared password. I think that's the solution moving forward to keep people, growing subscriber rates. And I mean, that's a simple move. There's all kinds of shit out there nowadays where you have to submit a copy of your driver's license to prove who you are or whatever. There's ways to prove you're a family member and just move forward. I think, what do you think? If you bump people off and tell them they have to get their own subscription, but then you're going to tell them it's going to be more expensive than it was, that's not going to work.
No, but it kind of does, because for example, we used to share the same Netflix account. Netflix is the only one who's really hardcore cracking down on the password. Yeah, because they're serious about it and they won't let you back in. You can try to say you're logging in and traveling or whatever, but then it's okay, bitch, you've been there for 4 months.
Yeah,
okay,
it gives you a couple of times.
Yeah. But honestly, that's what happened with us. They booted us off yours, and then we eventually got our own, which is the multiple screens, because Netflix is very hard about how many screens you get too. So we got the multiple screens with the better quality. So it's gonna happen inevitably with all of these. But I do agree though with Netflix, with trying to. It should just be you can get the main account, but you could only have two or three households, I guess, that could be associated with your account, and have the main account type in the passwords so that it's not the extended households that are saying that they are logging in or whatever. I guess that verifies it more. So it kind of like Canva, right? If any of you graphic designers out there who are using Canva, you have Canva teams, somebody can pay for, the pro account and then send links to have people part of your team so that everybody can have access. I think it should be like that.
Agreed. And I think the reason that it worked for Netflix initially is because, remember, when they first did it, they lowered their prices. They dropped the price down temporarily for people to sign up. I think that's what baited them into it. And then they bumped them back up. But I don't know. Yeah, there's got to be a solution somewhere, though, because name one single person out there that has an account that's not sharing it with somebody. Come on. Everybody does that.
Well, yeah, but as a businessman, if you're selling cookies and you sell one cookie and then 5 people eat off of this one cookie, you're like, okay, that's sad. They should have just bought more cookies, right?
Well, supply and demand, right? That's simple economics.
Exactly.
That's why I'm saying the guy with the cheapest gas has more cars.
Yeah, yeah.
Period.
True.
So if the demand is high and the supply is low, you have to adjust. And that's the problem. So if you want people to all have individual accounts, drop the prices. You're not going to lose revenue because more people will sign up. It will counteract the lower price and you'll make more money by doing it. It's just simple economics, but the studios, they're greedy. So it's they don't realize. Just ask any gas station owner. The guy with the cheapest gas makes more money than the guy with the expensive gas. Why? Because the guy with the cheaper gas is selling more gas. Period. It's just that simple. Anyway.
Yeah. But I do think Warner Brothers, it's very surprising that they had an amazing amount of good films that came out this year and have been very successful, because they needed it, and those freaking people who are running the studios needed it. Because if y'all remember, right before Minecraft, they were about to lose their jobs, and we're talking top executives at the Warner
Pam and
Studios.
Michael,
they were about to lose their jobs, and so they definitely needed it.
And I'm glad you brought it up, because before we dive into these other two, he's taking credit. He's bagging it all about the success that he had. I'm like, bro, you were going to fire them. You didn't trust anything they were doing. And now that they were successful with what they told you was going to be successful, you're trying to take all the credit. It's like, fuck the big off, David Zaslav. Give credit where credit is due, dude.
I know, it is kind of crazy, because leading into this next story, James Gunn has been every time I've seen him in an interview, he actually praises David Zaslav and compliments his vision and things like that. And I'm like, okay, bro, are you just stroking his ego because you work for the man?
That's
But
what,
whatever.
yeah.
But Zaslav did confirm this week that James Gunn will write and direct the next installment of the Super Family. Now, Gunn had previously said in various interviews during his Superman press tour that he was writing a new movie featuring David Cornsweet's Superman, although he was remaining coy on whether it was a standalone Superman sequel or something else. Now, Zaslav provided no clarity there, opting to say that the next movie in the Super Family, but it's news that Gunn will direct the movie in addition to writing the screenplay. He served the same dual role on, of course, Superman. Warner Brothers recently relaunched the DC Universe, of course, with Gunn's Superman. Next up for the franchise is Peacemaker Season 2, followed by Supergirl. Now, the Lanterns television series is coming in 2026, highly anticipated, of course, but there is actually a Clayface movie which is set next year, and that one's supposed to be like a horror thriller type of thing. So
Yeah.
that will be very interesting to see how that one does. But Gunn recently said that fans should expect each entry to have its own flavor and its own tone, not like actual comic books, okay? So you have to be sure to stay open-minded because James Gunn is very open-minded. If you've seen any of his films that are not just Guardians of the Galaxy and freaking Superman, like he is an out there guy and he likes to make out there movies and they normally turn out pretty damn good. So just be prepared for that because I know all the Superman or the superhero fandom likes to hate, so they have to be prepared for some weirdness when it comes to James Gunn.
Without doubt, and just quick because I want to blow through these because we're getting a little wordy, but we always do that. It seems like very code, like he's directing the next film in the Super Family. Isn't Supergirl the next film in the Super Family? Did they bump the director? Is he like taking over that film? Because
I mean, that's kind of what it made it sound like.
And doing some rewrites because
if he does that for every film, James Gunn is going to get burnt out real quick.
Yeah. I mean, but I don't get that. They're playing coy about what film it is, but is he literally making rewrites to Supergirl and then... Because he was on like this thing saying how great that script was, which is why it was pushed up to be the second film. So, yeah, it's very confusing. But guess what? Forget all that confusion. We finally have the news that we've all been waiting for. Yes, Warner Brothers also announced that Matt Reeves, very long awaited, The Batman Part 2 will finally begin filming in the spring of 2026 for an October of 2027 theatrical release. Now, Pattinson, who's gone from filming Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey to Denis Villeneuve's Dune Part 3 this year alone, returns in the title role, of course. The company stated DC Studios' universe of characters represents not only one of Warner Brothers' most valuable pieces of intellectual property, but one of the most valuable assets in entertainment. Fans have been waiting years for a sequel to Reeves and Pattinson's The Batman, which opened in theaters way back in March of 2022, grossed $772 million at the worldwide box office. It's been in long development road for the Batman sequel, which Warner Brothers delayed last year from October 2nd of 2026 when it was supposed to be released. It's interesting that Zaslav refers to this as DC Studios' universe of characters because it doesn't fall into the DC universe. I mean, DC Studios is still making it, but it's not part of the DCU. Remember, it's not the DCU's Batman. Just saying. Get it straight, Dave.
It's so weird, man. It's so freaking weird. But another weird thing that Warner Brothers is doing is like, hey, let's make another freaking Final Destination movie. Apparently, I mean, we do know that the last one that just hit theaters a couple months ago did make the most money that any Final Destination movie made at the box office. But it works for New Line. Of course, Bloodline's co-creator Laurie Evans Taylor is pinning the new installment. Bloodlines is the 6th movie in the 25-year-old horror franchise, of course, that debuted at #1 at the global box office this summer. Now, achieving the best opening weekend in the series to date, like I just said, with the film earning about $286 million worldwide. So this is an example of, I guess, if it's don't broke, don't fix it. But I'd also feel like this is a bad thing to go back to, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you're running that IP out. That's all I'm saying. Just at some point, you got to pull the plug on it. But I guess as long as it's making money, right? All right, speaking of making money, let's jump on over to Paramount, which is, by the way, now Paramount. It's official. David Ellison's Skydance Media has closed the $8 billion merger with Paramount Global to create the new company, Paramount, a Skydance corporation. The parties announced Thursday of this week. Now, under Skydance, Paramount will be restructured into 3 divisions: studios, direct-to-consumer, and TV media. Interesting. I think this is smart, though, because if people were worried about Paramount Plus, apparently it's not going anywhere. The finalization of the acquisition follows the FCC's, of course, July 24th approval of the deal, which came after Paramount agreed to pay $16 million to the Trumpster to settle his lawsuit against CBS over a 60 Minutes interview with Kamala Harris, and more than a year, of course, after the Skydance and Paramount first announced the agreement all the way back in 2024. Now, Paramount will remain publicly traded as Paramount Global was, but the Ellison family will control the company. The company begins trading on the NASDAQ stock exchange under the new symbol PSKY. David Ellison, founder of Skydance and now CEO of Paramount, will receive a base salary of $3.5 million, as will the president, Paramount president Jeff Shell, former of Universal and not a nice guy, I guess, according to financial documents filed with the Securities and Exchange Commission. They will each also be entitled to an annual bonus targeted at $1.5 million each. Also, as part of Ellison's compensation package, the CEO will receive company-paid personal security services. That's interesting. What the fuck? Why does he... Well, he is a Trumpster, so, I mean, I guess half the country hates him. I guess that's why he needs security. But why is Paramount paying for that? That doesn't seem right. Like, what? Anyway... I like Skydance. I like Ellison and what he was doing with Skydance. He's brought in a lot of Skydance's people to take over the television. Like, taking over the television operation in Paramount is going to be the Skydance television team. And they were, rocking and rolling. A ton of the great shows on network television still were from Skydance. So I think this is good news. You know, if we can keep politics out of it, I think this might be good. I think Paramount might be headed in the right direction.
Completely agree. And, David Ellison really wanted to start his day one with freaking a good note. Okay. Yeah. He wanted a trophy on day one. And he won a highly competitive auction for a big screen reunion between Timothée Chalamet and James Mangold. Now, Paramount will distribute High Side, starring Chalamet and directed by Mangold, who previously collaborated on Oscar-nominated success of the Bob Dylan biopic, A Complete Unknown. Now, Sheridan Entertainment will produce the project, and the film is described as heat meets hell or high water. Now, Chalamet will play a former motocross racer haunted by a career-ending crash and a long history of abandonment in a broken family. His estranged brother draws him back on the bike and into danger for a series of bank robberies as the FBI closes in on the pair. Now, Sheridan and Mangold have a successful history of collaborating together, like The Greatest Showman and Ford vs. Ferrari. Now, Mangold praised CEO David Ellison as showing a real commitment to original story-driven filmmaking on the big screen, and his passion made it easy for Timothy, Peter, and me to land this project back home at Paramount. That sounds a little bit like stroking his ego, but hey, that's okay. It seems like an interesting movie, and it seems right up Paramount's alley. Very Tom Cruise. So I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, no, me too. And like I said, what he said there in the statement's not wrong. I mean, Ellison and Skydance have taken risks in the past and have given shots at original stories. And I feel like if this is the direction he's going to take the studio, it's good. We just need to keep politics out of it. He did say, though, he made it very clear this week also, he wanted to adamantly say the decision to pay off Trump in the settlement was made before he even got involved. Before, like, he had nothing to do with it, and he was very adamant about making that clear this week. I'm like, okay, bro, we'll see. Let's see how you play out in the future. But fingers crossed. I'm hoping for good things out of Paramount. Okay, let's jump on over to Comcast's beautiful little studio, NBC Universal. Universal has, and I'm excited for this one because it's on my box office drive. Universal has released new posters and the official trailer for Wicked for Good. The second part, of course, the 2024's hit Broadway movie adaptation. Now, Wicked for Good brings back Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande as Elphaba and Glinda, as well as Jonathan Bailey as Fiyero, Michelle Yeoh as Madame Morrible, Jeff Goldblum as the Wizard of Oz, Ethan Slater as Bach Woodsman, Marissa Baudet as Nekaros Throp, and Bowen Yang as Fanny. Now, John M. Chu directed both films with screenplays by Winnie Holzman and Dana Fox. Okay, want to know what it's about? We've been telling you, we've been teasing you a little bit that Dorothy's going to be more in it, and that's correct. Per the official logline, the second film set in the Land of Oz before and after Dorothy Gale's arrival from Kansas will cover the events of the musical's second act, following Elphaba and Glinda's friendship being put to the test as they embrace their new respective identities as the Wicked Witch of the West and Glinda the Good Witch of the North, and how the consequences of their actions will change all of Oz forever. Now, last year's Wicked was a massive hit and grossed $756 million worldwide at the box office, becoming the highest grossing Broadway adaptation ever and Universal's third biggest movie of all time. Received, of course, 10 Academy Award nominations, including Best Picture, Lead Actress for Erivo, Supporting Actress for Grande. Wicked for Good is scheduled to be released in theaters November 21st, and we've made it perfectly clear. We think this one's going over $1 billion. First one came close, this one's hitting over $1 billion, no doubt.
Yeah, completely agree, man. Completely agree. Well, they do say that sex sells. That's right, because Love Island USA has achieved its best viewership ever during the week of July 7th through the 13th. Now, it did reach about 1.9 billion minutes watched. That total marked not only a series high for Peacock reality dating series, but the first time any Peacock show has ever reached the #1 position on the Nielsen's weekly streaming rankings. Go you, sex sells.
Sure.
It's important to note that Nielsen combines all viewerships of the show into one total rather than separating totals by season, meaning that any viewership of 1 through 6, seasons 1 through 6, would also be accounted for within the week's 1.9 billion minutes. Still, it's presumable that the vast majority of viewership would have come from the current airing season. Now, viewership record coincided with the final week of season 7, with episodes 31 through 36 rolling out during the viewership window. It only makes sense because all of these love freaking dating shows on an island in a bikini, it all comes from Love Island. That's the one people are talking about, and I would say NBC Universal, you're winning the reality TV side of things, so good for you.
At least on the sex side, right?
That's for sure.
I've never watched any of these things. Not The Bachelor, The Bachelorette, Love Island, Bachelor Island, whatever the fuck they call that thing. Well, I've never watched any of them. I just don't get the fascination. I don't know, man, but whatever works.
It's really trashy TV that's made so couples can watch sexy people but make fun of them at the same time. That's exactly what Emily and I did. I think we watched one that was on Netflix and it was very fun, but we were like, this is our cast. We can't go to different ones.
And is it allowing people to live out fantasies? Because basically these people are sleeping with everybody. It's like, if you're trying to find the love of your life, I don't want the love of my life also kissing that guy, and that guy, and that guy.
It's the social experiment of temptation. That's what it is.
It's something. Okay, Sony, let's jump over to Sony. We know they can't hit it with Spider-Man. They just can't do it without Marvel's help, except for the Spider-Verse. Now, we recently saw, and I'm sure Sony did too, and I'm sure this is why this is happening, Superman established that punk is cool. Superman's a punk rock star, right? So Sony goes, wait a minute. We introduced a punk guy in our last Spider-Verse movie. Spider-Punk? That's our next movie. Spider-Punk is a spin-off of 2023's animated hit Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and it's in early development at Sony Pictures Animation. Now, Daniel Kaluuya, who voiced the character in the comic book sequel, and Ajan Singh are developing and co-writing the feature. Now, plot details haven't been sorted out. No, because they just decided to do it. But the film will center on the punk rock version of Spider-Man, aka Hobie Brown, whose main weapon is his guitar. Now, Kaluuya's character was introduced along with many other iterations of the beloved web-slinger in the multiversal adventure Across the Spider-Verse. He is expected to return in Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse from producers Phil Lord, Chris Miller, and Amy Pascal, who will also produce the Spider-Punk project. It's unclear when Spider-Punk will be ready to swing into theaters, but we do know for now, of course, that Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse, the third entry in the web-slinging trilogy, won't be hitting the big screen until June 25th of 2027. That's also when they claim they'll give up Miles Morales for Marvel Studios, but now with Spider-Punk, will that delay that? Yeah, I don't know.
Probably.
Exactly. This little known about the threequel, other than the story picks up after the cliffhanger at the end of Across the Spider-Verse, with protagonist Miles Morales as a fugitive on the run while also trying to save his family from imminent danger. Okay.
Yes.
Do what you got to do, Sony. Just do what you got to do. Whatever.
Exactly. I'm not surprised. Definitely not surprised by this. Well, heading over to Lionsgate, they posted about a $94 million net loss during its most recent quarter. Now, the company, which now consists solely of its film and television operations, released The Studio, of course, an acclaimed Hollywood satire that produces for Apple TV Plus, and debuted, of course, Ballerina, a John Wick spinoff that disappointed at the box office. The film business, which also released Another Simple Favor, was a drag on earnings, even as its TV unit saw profits double. Revenues at the overall company topped out at about $555.9 million. Now, Lionsgate posted an operating loss of $10.6 million, as well as a loss of 35 cents per share. That was roughly in line with analyst expectations. Now, Lionsgate beat Wall Street's revenue estimate, though, of $553 million, but just fell short of projections that had it posting a loss of 25 cents per share. Lionsgate stock was up more than 2% in after-hours trading, though, so there is hope, but I do think Lionsgate will be one of the next to be sold and one of, to one of these bigger studio conglomerates.
Really? So you think it's just going to be swallowed up in?
I do.
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, these numbers aren't unexpected. I mean, it's their first year solo with spinning off. So you were going to see a little bit of a loss. It's can they build from it now? I don't know. I don't think they'll be swallowed up. I think that they're going to turn from a studio more into a high-end production company like an A24 or something. They'll start producing and pumping out content, but not necessarily distributing and releasing it as a studio. That's my thought on it. I don't know. Could be wrong. We'll see. That's the fun part about it. We'll see where it goes. All right, jumping over to Netflix, where, yes, season 2 of the Emmy Award-winning Netflix series Wednesday, starring, of course, the one, the only, the beloved Jenna Ortega as the black pig-tailed, emotionally reserved high school student Wednesday Addams. It dropped this week, in case you missed it, on Wednesday. The second season includes 8 episodes, but it's split into part 1 and part 2. That means, that's right, if you can do math, 4 episodes dropped on Wednesday. It comes out, of course, nearly 3 years after season 1 of the spooky series about the teenager and her family, which premiered in November 23rd of 2022. Now, the final 4 episodes, part 2, will debut at 3 a.m. Eastern Time on September 3rd. That's right, 3 a.m. Just get up. You're probably already up. You know you are. Anyway, that's fun. I'll be honest with you. I never watched season 1. Even though I'm a huge fan of Jenna Ortega, huge fan of Tim Burton, I don't dislike the Addams family. You would have thought, but I didn't. So I am going to jump on season 1, binge it, and then watch season 2.
Yeah, I watched probably like 3 episodes, I think, but it came out around the time that we were moving, so it kind of got lost in the wind.
That made sense.
Yeah, man. So
This next
freaking
one,
exciting.
This next one, I did watch the hell out of it. It was a fucking kick-ass show. I loved it.
Yeah? All right. He's talking about the action comedy film adaptation of the 1980s police procedural. Oh, look, 1980s.
Yeah.
TJ Hooker. And it is in the works at Netflix after the streamer landed the rights to the property. Now, the original stars for the series were William Shatner in his first major television role since the cancellation of the original Star Trek more than 10 years earlier.
Fact.
TJ Hooker premiered in 1982 on ABC and went on to enjoy a 5-season run. Alongside Shatner was he was a crazy police sergeant that was a war veteran. The series featured a young cast of spunky recruits played by Heather Locklear, Adrian Zimmed, and James Darren. The Netflix film adaptation will aim for more meta and comic tone than the original series. Now, producers have begun talks with Shatner with expectations that the 94-year-old will be involved with the project in some sort of capacity. 94 years old? Jesus Christ. He's going to have to die. Like, oh my God.
No, he's still pretty healthy though, man. He's out there riding horses
he's
still and shit.
Coherent as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
He's Captain fucking Kirk and TJ Hooker. TJ Hooker worked because he was basically Kirk as a cop. He was a badass motherfucker, didn't take shit. But Heather Locklear, she was balancing 2 shows. She was like hitting it. She was on Dynasty and TJ Hooker, and she was in her prime. I mean, young, beautiful, everybody wanted to be her, everybody wanted to be with her. She was killing it, and definitely that sparked, boom for that show for sure. It was fun. It was an 80s cop procedural. It was a drama, not a comedy. So I like how they're shifting towards comedy. And Shatner, of course, is funny. So Shatner, maybe he'll be a TJ Hooker grandfather or something. Maybe he'll be related to the new Hooker. I don't know. That'll be pretty fucking funny. All right, let's wrap the industry news up because that was a lot with the most successful Apple movie of all time. Yes, Brad Pitt's F1. Guess what? Because it's so successful, it's racing back into IMAX theaters after becoming the highest grossing movie of his career. What? Apple's Formula One racing movie will return to IMAX theaters on today. Today, as we're recording this show, it's in IMAX theaters, with plans to further expand on next Friday, August 15th. Tickets are now on sale. F1 recently crossed $552 million at the global box office, making it the highest grossing original feature of the year and Apple's largest film ever. It lapped Pitt's previous best movie, which was 2013 zombie movie World War Z, which made $540 million at the box office. Now, distributed by Warner Brothers, as we told you earlier in the show, F1 has made $85 million and counting from IMAX theaters alone, which is the highest of any film this year and accounted for 23% of its North American opening, 19% of its global launch. So, and we made this prediction. We're going to see more and more IMAX screens pop up because of this, just because of movies like this.
Completely agree. F1, the biggest profitable movie that neither one of us picked on our box office.
How did we miss that?
We didn't think it was going to happen. Yeah. But the international reach that this film is making is crazy. The think about, everybody's talking about Superman being super successful. To think that this is less than $10 million away from the same amount that Superman has made is crazy to me. The longevity that this film has had is awesome to see.
But you know what? You nailed it. You just, boom, hit it right on the head. F1 is fucking huge internationally. Formula One racing is like think NASCAR here. The Bubba's, how much... F1 is like that for the rest of the world. They love F1 racing. So it makes sense that this is killing it internationally, which is definitely giving it, in my opinion, its legs at the box office for sure.
It is.
Or its wheels at the box office.
Wow.
Anyway, yeah, I'm good. Good for Brad, too, right? Because he's been missing a little bit here or there. Bullet Train was okay. I enjoyed Bullet Train.
I did, too.
But, it
wasn't like a box office success.
No, he was having a couple of misses. And so this is good. I like this.
Yeah, completely agree. Fun fact, did you know Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise were almost in The Shawshank Redemption?
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
Shawshank. I mean, Tom Cruise was almost Dufresne. That would have been crazy, but it
Yeah,
was at the
yeah,
point in time in his life where he was trying to work with iconic directors.
yeah.
So the director at the time wasn't big enough, so he went off and starred in that Stanley Kubrick movie or
Oh, it
whatever.
wasn't because he wanted to get shanked for real or like,
No, yeah,
yeah.
no.
We all know Tom Cruise is like, what do you mean you're not going to really stab me? Fuck this. I'm out of here. Like, Tom.
But then also, Brad Pitt was also in Shawshank as well, because this came out around the same time as Thelma and Louise. But with the success of Thelma and Louise, the part that Brad Pitt was going to have was the part that Dufresne basically taught that kid and who ended up dying and
Right,
getting
right.
murdered or whatever by the warden.
Interesting.
Yeah, so Brad Pitt was gonna have that part. So yeah, fun stuff, man. Little trivia if y'all did not know.
Well, if they
Um,
have their way, they're going to be working together on the sequel to this. So
Yeah,
maybe we'll see
exactly,
it
man.
happen.
Exactly. Well, now it is time for the top five segment, man. And ooh, boy, I was a little confused at first when you first presented the idea to me. That's why mine's a little bit a roundabout, because when you said when you pitched it to me, I feel like what I interpreted as what was your favorite film from your favorite studio. So I did it in the form of favorite studio with my favorite film from the studio. So that's how I did it.
I also did it that way.
Oh, okay.
I also did it that. I know you're
So
confused, right?
I didn't know your number one studio
I know,
was. Yeah,
I knew you were going to be like, wait a
yeah.
minute,
That's why I was
huh?
confused.
But and I think most people that listen to this show will be like, huh? But it is, and we're gonna get into it. You did it right. You did exactly
Okay,
how I
just
pitched
making
it.
sure,
Yeah.
just making sure. Oh my goodness. But yes, yes. My number five for my fifth favorite studio of the entertainment industry is
Interesting.
Paramount. And then the film that I chose was Shrek.
Mm.
I chose Shrek because this film was so iconic to my youth. It was very iconic for DreamWorks, obviously, putting them like on the map as like, okay, we can compete with Disney, we can compete with Pixar. So Steven Spielberg's DreamWorks did amazing things. So yeah, that's why I wanted to put this on the list. So yeah, number five, Paramount, my fifth favorite studio, and then my favorite film from Paramount is Shrek.
There you go. And yeah, you're exactly right with bringing up, Pixar and stuff, because that's the reason Shrek ended up at Paramount.
Yeah,
Paramount wanted to have the success with DreamWorks in direct competition to Disney, and
exactly.
yeah, that's what it was. Some will say it did, some will say it didn't. But anyway, my least favorite studio out of the majors right now is Sony, because they can't apparently put out anything but Spider-Man that works. But they did put out one. They took a chance. It was an original film based on an original short film, and they took a swing and nailed it. Hit an out of the park home run, grand slam probably, all the bases loaded, and it worked. And I'm talking about Whiplash. Oh, one of not only just my favorite Sony film, one of my all-time favorite films ever. Just J.K. Simmons and Miles Teller absolutely fucking kill it with this film. The performances are just outrageous. It's an absolutely brilliant film. And see, Sony, if you take shots outside of Spider-Man, you can have some success. That's all I'm saying. Stop failing with Spidey. Give it back to Marvel. Just work on outside shit. You'll be fine. I like it though. The reason I like this one and I put it on the list is because Damien Chazelle was not Damien Chazelle yet, right? He made a short film. Somebody saw it. Somehow he got J.K. Simmons in the short film, but somebody saw it and said, Jesus, this would make a great feature length. Sony picked it up and boom, rest is history. Now Damien's obviously one of the top-notch directors in Hollywood right now, and but yeah. So keep making shorts. Keep making shorts. That's all I'm saying. My number five.
Exactly, man. Love it. I freaking love it. Great movie too.
Oh, yeah.
Freaking movie. Number four for me, my fourth favorite studio goes to Universal. And my favorite film from Universal is 8 Mile. I think 8 Mile is probably the best biopic that we have seen, that we will ever see of all time, in my opinion. I just think a biopic that is played by the person who the movie is about. That's also like something that's awesome. Like Eminem is a highly underrated actor. Like he
Agreed.
knocked it out of the park
Agreed.
with this film. This is a film that I grew up with in youth and like watch it at least once a year, I feel like, because it's so freaking good. And I mean, when else can Eminem roast freaking Falcon, aka Captain America, aka freaking Anthony Mackie? It's so freaking hilarious because before he was Falcon, he was getting roasted by Eminem on stage. But yeah, I mean, I love this film so much. But anyway, yeah, my number 4, 8 Mile for Universal.
If I wasn't old, 8 Mile would have been my favorite from Universal as well. It's one of my favorites for sure, all time. I agree with you. I think it's and the reason I think it's the best biopic is because he did play himself. Who better to play somebody than the guy himself? And it was,
exactly.
I mean, he is, though yeah, dude, he's a really solid actor. I wish he would have done, Tupac was a great actor. I wish more of I don't know. I feel like that's opportunity
Play themselves
lost.
in the movies.
Yeah, I just think opportunity
like
lost.
I mean, like for example, Elton playing an old version of himself in Rocket Man. I feel like that would have added another layer to
Without
that film
doubt.
that would have made me like it more.
Which hopefully gives some sort of something to the Michael one coming. Because while not Michael himself is an actual Jackson, looks exactly fucking like Michael, and grew up around all that shit. So it's going to be a true interpretation of Michael. So hopefully that kind of plays. My number 4 favorite studio is also Universal. But my favorite film, because I am old, and because we wouldn't have the summers that we have now without it, as we know, Jaws. And we might not have Steven Spielberg. Had this one failed, because it did go way over budget, way over time, and he was not a popular guy. But then, of course, it became the biggest movie of all time at that time and saved him and cemented him as the Spielberg that we know and love. So I just recently watched it again on the anniversary. Shark Week, come on. But my number 4 studio, Universal, which I'm finding out recently, Hollywood exists because of Universal, because of Carl Laemmle. Like I'm learning so much about the golden age of Hollywood right now. Without the guy that created Universal, the rest of it probably never happens. What? Yeah.
It's crazy.
Fucking crazy. So thank you, Universal. But anyway, Jaws, my number 4 studio and my favorite film from them.
Nice. Love it. I love it. Well, my number 3, and it's really because it's freaking Columbia, but it's Sony. And my number 3 film is Superbad. I love Superbad. I love what Superbad means to the comedy culture for the films that came out in that time, because Judd Apatow, Seth Rogen, Steve Carell, like Michael Cera, Jonah Hill, Dave Franco and James Franco, like so many people came out of this era of comedy. I mean, Kevin Hart was in some of those movies. Paul Rudd was in a lot of those movies. Like, it's iconic. Danny McBride, like this time of filmmaking and comedy filmmaking. We were just talking about comedies at theatrical release on our Instagram Live, and this is peak comedy and probably the last time comedies did very well in just a culture space. I love this film. I love what this film means, and I love Seth Rogen. I'm listening to his book right now, Yearbook. I'm learning so much about him. Like, for example, him and Jason Segel auditioned for 8 Mile. They were going to be Cheddar Bob. One of them was going to be. There you go. And none of them got the part, which I thought was hilarious. But I love Superbad. Might be a movie I watched tonight, because these movies I watched this week were not great. I literally watched 3 movies this week, and none of them, they were okay, but they never didn't blow my socks off. But anyway, number 3 for me, Sony and Superbad.
All right, there you go. Number 3 for me, Paramount. And you would think, right, with me and my age and my growing up or whatever, it'd probably be somewhere in the 80s, right? Because the Paramount had a lot of awesome films in the 80s. But no, it's when I was a wee kid in the 70s. My favorite film, and one of my all-time favorite films, and many would say the best film ever, and it'd be hard to argue against, The Godfather. Paramount took a chance on The Godfather. If you guys didn't watch The Offer, and you want to know the history of that, how that all went down, highly recommend that show on Paramount Plus. But it's just, come on. The Godfather is one of the greatest cinematic masterpieces of all time. Paramount did go through shit to get it made, went through all kinds of hell, and cemented itself. It rebirthed that studio in a way that, Bob Evans basically saved Bob Evans temporarily anyway. Yeah, just unbelievable. And it's funny, The Godfather is considered maybe the greatest film of all time. Another little piece of history I recently learned, Paramount Studios, the very first feature-length film, Paramount Studios. They were all just the little silent 15-minute things, no real storyline, just blah, 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 blah. Guy who created Paramount, was his idea to tell a feature-length 90-minute. The goal was, let's put plays, 90-minute plays, theatrical play, and make them movies. And so he took plays and made them movies. And, of course, didn't go over well at first, but then it did, and then it hit. And so Paramount, responsible for the feature-length films that we now enjoy today. There you go.
Awesome, man. Great trivia. I know,
And The Godfather.
Bringing so much
We're bringing knowledge, baby. We're bringing knowledge.
It's so funny. I love it. Well, number 2 for me, number 1 and 2 are always like neck and neck.
Oh, yeah, always.
Number 2 for me is Warner Brothers, and the film that I love from Warner Brothers is 300. It's probably my favorite film that I love from Warner Brothers. I think just the overall impact that film had on the culture, that just growing up mid 2000s before the 2010s, it was an interesting time in America, in the United States, as a youth, as an adult, I'm sure. But to this film, I think definitely brought a new aspect and a new grittiness to filmmaking. I mean, the way that thing was shot, the way it was edited, the way that Gerard Butler portrays the character, I think was fucking awesome. And I mean, of course, Spartans spawning from that, I believe, and then there was a 302 or whatever. But I mean, when you think about Romans, when you think about fucking these Trojan people who are killing each other just for land and crops and very basic necessities, it's always very interesting and very gravitating. I love the Greek gods, I love that type of stuff, and this fell right in that reign. And the Persian Empire, which I guess was a huge thing, and I had no idea until I watched this movie. But yeah, I love this one as well. So number 2 for me, freaking Warner Brothers and 300. This is Sparta!
Exactly. I feel like really introduced the world to Gerard Butler. Brought a whole new generation of people to the gym because they all wanted fucking abs that.
Oh, yeah.
Dude was fucking ripped. And launched the Snyderverse, baby. The Justice League and all the DC prop. That's why they handed him the keys to the DC kingdom. Was this the success of that movie?
It makes so much sense.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So it only makes sense. All right. My number 2 favorite studio, and it's not the one you think. It's not Warner Brothers. It's Disney. As you said, they kind of they're neck and neck, really. But they're kind of but for me, still holding Disney, my number 2 favorite studio. And my favorite film from Disney, this was really hard, y'all, because Disney, fuck, man. I mean, they've had so many great films. And I'm a comic book geek, so all of the Marvel films, and then animation and the Pixar films, and then just regular, just Disney animated films, Lion King and all. I'm taking it all the way back to when I was a kid, and the animated kids from the 70s and all that. But the one I chose, my favorite Disney film, Tombstone. In my opinion, the greatest Western ever made. Unforgiven, God, Clint, I love you, man. That's right there. They're neck and neck. But just fucking Tombstone, man. It just all clicked on that movie for me, man. It all clicked. What they went through to get that movie made, they ran out of fucking money, and Kurt Russell had to finish paying for the fucking movie himself. What? Get the fuck out. But then Bill Paxton, Sam Elliott, and the legendary Kilmer. Come on, man, as Doc Holliday delivers one of the best lines in cinematic history with "I'm your Uncle Barry." Fuck, man. And Jason Priestley with some weird, like, fucking weird character. I don't even know. I was like, we could have done without Jason Priestley in Tombstone. I'm just saying. If I have one gripe about the movie, it's maybe Jason Priestley's character. I just didn't get him in the plot point for, like, why is he here? Anyway, Tombstone, my favorite Disney movie, and Disney, my second favorite studio.
That's so funny. Yeah, very weird character, right?
Yeah, just. Am I right though? What did he do to progress the story forward? There was no point for him. I don't.
No, not at all. Number one for me, obviously Disney, and my favorite film from Disney is Remember the Titans.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, Denzel Washington, one of his best performances of all time.
Oh, without doubt,
I would say,
hands down.
Like, so freaking good. Ryan Gosling's in this thing. I mean,
everybody's
so
in this
young
fucking
actors in this freaking film, but it's so inspiring. This is my Miracle. I've never seen Miracle, not yet anyway. But yeah, Remember the Titans. Like, it gets me going. It gets me pumped up. Like, the camaraderie that brings everybody together, especially in a segregated time or an intersegregated or an interwoven community now. And yeah, it's a beautiful freaking film. My number one, Remember the Titans.
Yes. Yeah, dude, which I'm getting ready to watch here soon because if you want to get pumped for football season, watch this film. It's the one that just fires you up for football season. So you remember the Titans got little Hayden Panettiere, now grown up ass Baden, but like, yeah. Okay, my number one, obviously it's the only one left out of the 5 majors, right? Warner Brothers Pictures, ladies and gentlemen, my favorite studio. I think it's obvious. I mean, you know, they put out the film that made me want to be a filmmaker. They followed it up years later with, like, the coolest shit I've ever seen on screen with Keaton as fucking Batman. All right? I mean, this studio delivers, baby. Clint Eastwood in most of his Dirty Harry movies, it's like, it's just, this studio pumps them out, y'all. It's like, think of all of Clint's greatest movies. Unforgiven. Like, and again, all of the, I think why I like Warner Brothers so much is because early on they did take risks. They were the studio putting out there with like going, okay, let's see if that sticks, you know, kind of a thing. And Jack, Harry, and Sam, they weren't scared. They took chances because they were the underdogs in the golden age of Hollywood. A lot of people don't realize, but they were not the end-all, be-all powerhouse that they eventually became. Louis B. Mayer was like bitch-slapping them on a regular basis, but they didn't give up, and they were scrappy, and, you know, and boom. And my favorite film, it's not Superman or Batman. I love them both. I always will. My favorite film, and it's strictly from a filmmaker aspect and point of view, The Last Samurai. I think one of the best looking ever made films on the big screen. It is so cinematically beautiful. I don't know if it's because I'm so like in love with the culture, but the scenery, the shot selection, the lighting, the way they chose to tell this story through, there's dialogue, don't get me wrong, but this story moves me because of it's visually just beautiful to watch. It's so, and it takes place over the span of a while. So you see the beautiful colors of the spring and the summer. You see the harsh winters of the fall. You see the bloom of the cherry blossoms amongst this epic story of basically the fall of the samurai, the fall of the ninja, the fall of that type of hierarchy, which switched over to the emperor and the new modernized, westernized, you know, machine gun armies and what now we know as Japan to be. I don't know, man. That movie just, and it's a Tom Cruise movie. What the fuck, man? But Tom Kelson in it. I'm just gonna say it. My favorite studio, Warner Brothers Pictures. Today, maybe it'll be Disney tomorrow, I don't know, but today, Warner Brothers and The Last Samurai, just fucking beautiful. I try to get everybody to watch that fucking film. If you're a filmmaker, you should watch that film. It's like a master class in how to fucking shoot a film. Just
For sure, man. For sure. Well, we want to know, what is your favorite studio and what is your favorite film from that studio? Please be sure to comment down below in the YouTube comment section, X, Threads, Twitter, any of the good places that you're on social media. We definitely love the fan interaction, so please be sure to let us know your favorite studio from, or your favorite movie from your favorite studio. There we go. Oh man, oh man. Well, we're heading over to the box office recap, where last week Fantastic Four First Steps still had the first lead, of course. They came in at number 1 with $39 million. Bad Guys 2 came in at number 2 with $22 million. Number 3 was The Naked Gun with $17 million. Number 4 was Superman with $14 million. And number 5 was Jurassic World Rebirth with $8.8 million. New movies coming out this weekend: Freakier Friday, Weapons, and My Mother's Wedding. You know, I'm honestly surprised that Freakier Friday is tracking that well. I was expecting it to be around the Naked Gun numbers. So
yeah,
good for them for being around 30 million. I think that's a good thing.
I think the interest is there for Lindsay Lohan. I think people want to see, like, is this the real deal? Did she make a comeback? I think that's what it is.
All right, and if you're not watching her on Netflix, she's had like 3 or 4 movies that's come out since then.
Yeah.
So, I guess. But I guess that's people thinking, well, I mean, a Netflix movie isn't really a movie.
Which is ridiculous, but
it's so stupid, man, so stupid. Movies you can still go see right now, of course, all the ones that I listed above together. Definitely want to see that one. The Smurfs movie, I Know What You Did Last Summer, and F1 the movie.
Still there, baby.
Still there,
dude. I've heard Together is like some freaky shit. That I've everybody that I know has seen it said it's just we get the premise. Right, and but apparently it's like on screen, it's pretty freaky to watch.
Oh my goodness.
I'm kind of excited for it, honestly. Like I'm like, oh, even better.
For sure, man, for sure. Well, going over the IMDb Pro Top Trending segment, the top trending movie is Happy Gilmore's 2. The top trending show is The Hunting Wives, and the top trending star is Benny Safdie. So there it is, guys. There it is. But anyway, guys, it's time to roll the ending credits. We have to thank you one more time for getting crazy with us on episode 304 of ITCAFpodcast, of course. Be sure to follow us on social media. This podcast is at ITCAFpodcast. The company is at Crazy Ant Media. And then our other mental health podcast is at Everything's OKP. Please be sure to follow those on social media. And then, of course, follow us both personally on social media. Myself, at J. Logan Austin, and
at Crazy Ant CEO.
That's right. And you guys know you can subscribe to this podcast anywhere you listen to your podcast. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play Music, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Stitcher, and so much more. Of course, if you're watching this video on YouTube, hit that like button below, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell for all the latest and greatest notifications coming out of Crazy Ant Media. And then, of course, be sure to visit our website, www.crazyantmedia.com. Man, oh man. I was serious. This past week, I watched 3 movies, and I was like, they were fine. They were okay. Death of a Unicorn, The Naked Gun, and then Spirited Away. Spirited Away was by far the best, but it was also by far the best ranking on IMDb Pro. But I mean, it was an animated movie, so it's like I mean, you can get attached to animated movies, but not like as much as like in live action, in my opinion.
Did you watch Drop yet?
Yeah,
okay,
that was good.
Okay, yeah. I did the one that I watched this week. Because I've been trying to catch up on shows and sadly binged The Hunting Wife, so I'm ashamed. But I kind of enjoyed it. But anyway, About My Father, the De Niro one, that was hilarious. It was so fucking funny. Yeah. You know, you always think De Niro as the tough guy, right? Like the gangster type. He's fucking great comedian. He's
that's
his
with
timing.
Sebastian.
Yeah. Where he brings him to meet the family that he's gonna, the person he's gonna marry, and it's fucking hilarious.
He is funny,
and yet also very moving and touching. It's a very family-driven, family drama comedy, but it's funny as shit. I really enjoyed it. You should definitely check that one out. De Niro cracks me up, man. He's just,
Yeah, I love it, man. I love it. And then, of course, we love the one, the only, Oprah!